have all the ladies in here.
I know it's a reunion.
Awesome.
Karmen, are you in Brooklyn? Did I ask you
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Which part?
Flatbush. I'm deep
Okay.
in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn deep.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck over here. Like people are walking around and
That's crazy to me.
That's
be out on the street. Like they don't care. I mean, you still have your corner boys, you know, doing their thing. It's like nobody really cares.
Where'd my phone go? Hold on, let me grab my phone. I think it's in the bathroom.
I can't find my headset. I just
I'll
had
be right
it.
back. I'm sorry.
I'm a mess. We're all a mess. I love when people get up during these Zoom calls because like then you can see that everyone's basically in pajamas or shorts.
Yeah. True. Which isn't bad.
No, not at all. I'm enjoying everyone being casual.
My apologies.
Casual and braless. That's what it is, right?
I wore a bra today just for you girls. You're welcome.
Oh yeah.
I thought about it. I haven't considered it in months, but I considered it for this and decided not to. Paul, are we rolling?
Right, I'm gonna go find my headset.
That's half the reason I went to get my phone, to see if Paul texted us to see if we're rolling.
Yeah, we're recording whenever you want to start.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully she should be back in a sec.
So probably also in LA or you in?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Oh.
Yep. Just
How's
chilling.
things in LA?
It's kind of, I think, less scary, I think, than in New York, simply because of the numbers and what you would expect. When I go outside, I've only gone outside. I'm watching my neighbor's dog, so I walk her. People generally are wearing masks. It's pretty empty, especially like at night. But people are still like getting takeout and stuff from restaurants. So I don't know. It's definitely like emptier and whatnot. But we had like the Huntington Beach protest recently, right?
Yeah.
Like, so people are still like fighting for their right to get corona, I guess.
This is America, land of the free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Home of the idiots, I guess.
There's just so many of them. It's
Yeah.
a little overwhelming.
Sahana, what are you up to?
I'm in Texas.
Ooh, where? Dallas?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
With your family?
Yeah.
So you get like nice home cooked meals and everything, right?
Yeah.
Are your parents happy that you've grounded yourself, finally?
Sorry?
Are your parents happy that you've grounded yourself?
Yeah, I never got grounded growing up, though. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I always got grounded. I was always the kid that talked back. It was always for my mouth. It was always for being contentious.
Mine was like, you're not going to get to wear eyeliner to school tomorrow or something.
Wait,
Oh.
first of all, probably, how were you grounded? Like, how do brown parents in America ground their kids? I'm just curious.
My parents were kind of like weak on it. They like punished me in other ways too, but they would be like, I ended up having it worked in both of our favors, I guess, because I would just end up joining clubs in order to be able to be out of the home, because my parents wouldn't let me like go to a party or what, you know what I mean? So then I would just be like pissed, and I'd be like, well, I'm joining debate club to get the fuck out of here. And so it padded my resume and made them happy.
I mean, my family, like in South Africa, if you're brown, you just got beatings. You know, it was just a normal thing. It was just like.
I mean, no comment on that, but comment.
I feel like the opposite of getting grounded. It's like, we don't want to see you anymore. Get out of the house. Versus like with white people, it's like, stay in your room.
Well, they see parents aren't like that. Like here in America, I feel like you're 18, go get a job, start paying rent. Like I feel like they see parents would love us to stay home just forever and just like, you know, build our lives from their home.
I don't know about you ladies, but I spent my entire childhood and most of my teenage years grounded anyway. Like I wasn't allowed out of the house like ever. Like grounded was just like a way of life. It wasn't a punishment. It was just breathing.
That's how you got so good at baking.
Exactly.
I lived at home and I went to college from home because that's like a normal thing in South Africa. You go to the college closer to, you know, in your hometown. My curfew when I was still at college, I mean, I was like 21 still. It was like be home before 9 o'clock.
That was my curfew when I started like my professional job at like
Yeah.
2. Like I would be at the office at like 7 p.m. because I had like this crazy like grown-up job. It was my first career out of college. And then they would like take us out to dinner and I'd be out at 9 p.m. like with my boss and clients. And my mom would be calling me and I'd like step out to go to the bathroom. I'm like, Mom, I'm with clients. I went to my boss. What do you want? And she's like, tell them it's against your religion to be out at dinner this late. Why are they making you do this? I'm like, Mom, I'm a grown up. Like it took a long time for my parents to understand and like let go that like, okay, she has to be a functioning member of society. You can't just tell her everything is against the religion, you know?
It's a different world.
My parents,
Crazy.
like we lived in the suburbs, so there just like wasn't a way for me to get to where all my friends lived because I had to like test in to get into my high school. So I lived like half an hour away from my high school. Until I started driving, there was just like no public transit that would let me leave. So I had to rely on my parents or like my friends. And so I like ended up just being grounded until I was 16. And then once that happened and I could go, if I wasn't grounded, my mom would just get really mad when I came home for no reason. And then it just like dissuades you from going out. If she just like, if every time you come home, it like ruins it.
Yeah.
Then
So
you
like
just
there has to be like some drama. If there's no drama, no problem, it has to be created.
She would just open the door pissed. She would be like, "Oh, you're back," and I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm back in time for whatever you wanted me to be in time for. And then she'd be like, "Okay," and then it was just like cold, like mad at me for no reason. And I was like, "Well, now I just don't feel like going out the next time," you know?
Oh my God! In my household, it was like I'd be like, it's okay, it's not a big deal. And then like my parents would be like, it's a very big deal, it's the end of the world. So everything was like catastrophized.
And now it is the end of the world. And now they're like the boy who cried wolf. Yeah.
It's the
And I'm
end
not a
of the
doctor.
world.
None of us are doctors. Pallavi, you're kind of a doctor.
I'm not.
I mean-
People need to stop saying that. I am not a doctor.
Pallavi's not a doctor. You guys heard it here first.
Not a medical doctor or just not a doctor?
I'm not. No, I quit my PhD in December for stand-up comedy, which is now this. So, but I'm working I'm like, I joined a ventilator project. So now I'm like lead of medical research there.
Oh, nice.
But that's also not a doctor. That's talking to doctors. But,
yeah, well, I don't think we said it, but we're here on the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. We should probably just introduce who's who. I'm Fizza.
You couldn't tell.
I'm Pallavi Ganalin.
I'm Zara Ali.
I'm Karmen Naidu.
I'm Sahana Srinivasan.
And we're all comedians. Okay, so I want to hear more about this ventilator thing.
Okay. If you guys want to donate, you can go to Respira Works. So respira.works and /donate. It's a low cost, open source, meaning everybody can have access to the designs, ventilator, and it's aimed at developing countries and communities that are underserved so that people can get the design and then build it locally. We're working with a team in Guatemala right now. And like a refrigerator company there that will be able to make some of the parts locally there. And we just finished our alpha build. I don't think the video's out yet, but we, are putting out all of our pictures and everything so people can see how we go. I'm in charge of medical research and I'm helping with grants and I'm doing social media and the newsletter.
Wow.
I might make a TikTok about it. I don't know. We're trying to get as many people access to it once we have it like fully out there, and then as many donations and stuff as we can get for it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
But like the ventilator process is actually really risky for the doctors and really uncomfortable for the patients itself, because they're like, the doctor's basically this close, like just basically in the patient's face, and then there can be, what stuff can fly out of the mouth. The virus. Yeah,
so it's called aerosolization. It's like the virus being aerosolized, and so the intubation process where they stick the tube down the throat, the ET endotracheal tube, is risky. So like a lot of places, I think in New York especially, they're doing it where they're only keeping like the minimum number of people in the room for that process. Like even the anesthesiologist and stuff, they're kicking out so that it's less risky. But yeah, it's hard once they're on a ventilator, but you know, every step of the process people are trying to help with, and this is just the part of the project that I happen to join, which is, you know, once people are on ventilators, they often have to be like sedated, and it's pretty rough. So we're just trying to help out there.
And then the ventilator is like the last resort, right? That's sort of like just...
Yeah, it's like basically it's a machine that either assists you in breathing or breathes for you. So it's the point at which your lungs are too either exhausted or compromised, or maybe you are to breathe on your own. Sometimes in certain cases, not necessarily COVID or whatever, patients aren't like conscious enough and they need help breathing. So
I don't know how they get them in there. I have a crazy gag reflex, so like I'd have to go under if like someone tried to intubate me, you know.
Yeah, oftentimes the patients are sedated. I think most of the time.
How much does it cost to make one of those?
We're trying to do it in the hundreds of dollars, but I don't know right now all the costs because we're still trying to like source parts from different areas. I also think it depends on where you live, but we're trying to do it for like hundreds because there's different levels.
I love your idea, but I have to say that I'm out. I'm not.
No, this is the worst Shark Tank. Someone, what do they have? The golden thing? I don't know. On Shark Tank. Dang. Well, we're already a nonprofit, so oops.
We haven't heard from Sahana. What are you doing home to keep sane? Are you?
What have I been doing? I'm doing like an online acting class every week, which has been good.
How does that work?
It's like on Zoom, and we just like get scenes every week and then work on it with Zoom rehearsals. And then
So is it more like monologue scenes, since you know it's just you on
monologues or scenes? Yeah, everything.
Is it easier to do dramatic pauses because you're lagging?
It's so awkward. Like Zoom is just not set up for any kind of performance stuff because like people are like pouring their hearts out, you know, they're like doing this and it's like and it like just messes up the timing and everything. But
Logan Gunselman tweeted like yesterday or today that the lag sometimes causes people to feel lonelier than if they weren't on the Zoom call because everybody else is talking but they can't get through. It's rough.
Yeah, I can never, like, even just like, because we have share time at the beginning where we just like talk about what's going on, and if someone makes a joke, it just like sometimes it's just never received, or you just and I didn't even know there was a gallery view, so like I used to just be like either looking at myself or just like one person like who like, and you know how like Zoom you see the image of the person who's like making some noise, so it would just be someone like maybe moving stuff around and I'm like, right, huh, and no one's responding. Just so awkward. It's just not ideal. I've been offered to do those Zoom shows and I've said no. Like I'm just like, I don't know. Like just like traditional stand-up stuff. I've been like,
it's a fun experiment. It's different. But you can make a little bit of cash. Like I was considering those like my fans only what's that shit called?
OnlyFans.
But then I'm like, let me just do more Zoom shows. So cause I don't have cute feet like Zara. So
have you been selling your pics of your feet,
Dude,
Zara? That's
I want to because I have a mortgage.
OnlyFans, baby.
However, OnlyFans is now like referral only. So like I need to get a referral, and so like I've like reached out to a few of my friends, some of our influencer friends that have OnlyFans accounts, and like no one's fucking with me right now. I'm like, wait, hold on, is this because you don't
need a referral for OnlyFans?
I think right now you do because there's
hit up Adrian. She did our last episode. She's on. She has one.
I'll reach out to a few more. Every day I'm discovering someone new, someone who I already know has an OnlyFans account. But like
now, I know people.
The volume. Oh, we all know people, but the volume is so high right now of new people joining OnlyFans that you're better off getting a referral. So it's like weird. Anyway, I've looked into it. And there is definitely a market of people who will pay to see my feet pictures. But
There is a market for feet. I mean, I have a friend of mine back home in South Africa. She's a comedian slash a celebrity type of TV person. And somebody created a whole website based on her feet.
Stop
So
it.
they like scan the internet for pictures of her feet and like put it on a website.
I believe it.
I don't know.
They do that, then like pictures of like my belly or like my chin or something. I'm like, I feel a little bit more disconnected and like less body shamed for my feet, you know?
But your feet are already on WikiFeet.
Yeah, but they're not even like up close. They're like in shoes. I'm like, they're really trying anything.
And look, it's a nice.
Sahana, have you guys checked WikiFeet yet to see if you're on there?
I'm gonna check.
I hope my feet are not on there.
I have a decent rating on there because I have like a more flattering angle, you know, like I have a little flattering angle, a 3-4 foot angle. It's
What are they going for, like
it
barefoot?
makes it look better than it is. I don't mean to disappoint people in real life.
Yeah, it's naked feet, Karmen. It's your bare feet. Complete.
Mine are in shoes in there. And then I got weird. I was like protective of my feet. I stopped posting pictures of my feet on my Instagram because I knew this existed. I don't know why. Karmen, you're not on there.
Oh, Pallavi,
thank God.
Pulling it up. Let's see.
Thank
Sahana.
God.
The medical research.
And Sahana, they can't have any pictures of you under 18. Like that's sort of like pervy. Like they need
What?
like you need all 18 plus photos. You're 18, right?
Yeah, I'm over 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
You are?
I can't find any Sahana on there.
Okay. Maybe it's like under.
Did you just turn 18 like yesterday?
No.
No, I don't want to. And she's
just your. I mean,
I mean, she's hireable for high school, but can like make out with the 29-year-olds that they passed for high school.
She's gonna be in the next Mindy Kaling project.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually looking at her as a casting like director and be like, wow, she should have.
I would have hired her.
Yeah, I would have hired her for that spot.
I mean, did we all go out? Did we all audition for the new Mindy Kaling show? I think.
I auditioned for Richa's role. I know the girl who plays the cousin.
Oh yeah, Richa.
Her name's Kamala in the show.
Yeah. So she
stolen 2 parts from me, one for Kamala.
Stolen.
The other for getting married in 2020. Like, come on now. Like
she's married, happily
this
married.
Girl take from me. Okay.
Poppin'. I don't know if it's personal. I don't know if it's personal.
No, it's not. I love Richa. She's amazing. I'm very happy for her, and I think she did a great job.
What did you guys
such a good
think of it? Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I loved it. I finished it in like a night, and I mean, of course, I had some things that, like, you know, I wish Rich's character I wish she didn't have to do an accent, or like maybe that's the choice I would have made as the actor, and maybe that's why I didn't get it. But or you know, I'm just joking, but I loved it. I thought it was delightful. I thought she was great. The kid is great. What's her name? She has a South Indian name.
Maitri, I think.
Ramakrishna.
She's Canadian, right?
Yeah, she's Canadian.
She's brilliant.
She's so good. I love that it's
women
3
from other countries just taking our jobs from Americans.
Back to the stealing. Back to the stealing.
Stay in this freaking country. I'm so tired of Canadians.
Now it's the Canadians stealing our jobs.
Wow. Okay.
It's not.
I really liked it. I would say there were like a few lines and like some of the accents sounded a little bit strange, but it was so cool to see like the leads were 3 women of color, right? And then it was just like she was South Indian, so I got to see like my family's language up there, which was really cool. And it was I don't know, like I didn't even, beyond like a few lines, I didn't even perceive of it as like an Indian coming of age story. It was cool to just see it as a coming of age story, like to just see that. I don't know, it was I got caught up in it like I do other shows that I am too old for.
It was good. It was just really a great show. Like I've been recommending it to like men our age. I'm like,
and it's South Indian girl with anger issues. That's me. Come on.
I thought it was beautiful. I was so happy. I'm like the people that age now that they have that, they're so lucky. The people younger than that, like Gen, what comes after Z? Do they start at A again? Like
I think it's Gen double A. I think it's
what Gen are you?
Generation flat chested. I
The
think that's what it
Corona,
is.
the Corona kids is gonna be next.
Millennial and
Corona kids.
What's up, Sahana?
oh, I think I'm on the cusp of like millennial and
Gen Z.
yeah. Because
What do you identify more as?
I think millennial.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do you? Well,
Yeah, because you're like
Sahana, I
working in
think,
the biz. You're around people like old people like me.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I think also the test is, Sahana, do you remember a time before the internet?
uh-oh.
Like AOL or whatever.
Before
Like
AOL.
dial-up connection.
Did
Like
you
a
always
dial-up
have email? Did you guys always have internet?
Yes, we did.
Okay, then you're a Gen Z. I think that's what it is.
Oh, is that
The cutoff.
the peak?
I looked at
The
the
cutoff.
graph and
I'm sorry, Sahana, I'm cutting you off. You're too young. No, I'm kidding.
okay.
No, Sahana,
You're
but
amazing.
you've been You're a child. You were a child actor. You've been working
Club.
since you were a kid. So like that's
Oh,
You're a
wow.
child actor? I did not know this. Tell me everything.
yeah, a successful child actor.
Oh, really? Wow.
She retired and she came back.
Was she on Kuch Kuch Hota Hai? Was she?
Oh my
Yeah, did you do
God, there she
Bollywood?
is. She's the first Sahana that pops up on this on like my IMDb search.
Oh, snap. We're
Oh.
stalking Sahana now. All right.
I don't. Yeah, on that. Are you
This
talking
is
about the
lit.
Time Out article thing? Because
The
there was
what?
an article that like I think they described me as like a former child actor, but I'm like still a child actor. I think.
still playing the kids. Oh, you totally can. Like if they're casting me, if I'm going in for high school shit, like that's fucking ridiculous. Like I'll take it if you really are, but like you could easily play
I have a question.
middle school.
Or like college age, and I got told I was too young to play.
I have a
Yeah.
question.
I can do college.
How did you get into it so young? Because usually, like, this is not like a field that brown girls go into young. You know?
I started taking acting classes at a place in Texas, in Lewis. It's where like Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, they went to. And I did like casting workshops and stuff there, and that's how I got representation. And so I've been like
How old
sending
were you?
tapes and stuff. When I started classes, I was 13, I think. Yeah.
And your parents were like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so
Sahana,
cool.
are your parents immigrants or are they first generation here?
They're from India, yeah.
Oh wow, okay, and they're like I would assume they're a bit younger than some of my parents for sure. But
Probably. I don't know.
maybe that's sort of a Gen Z privilege getting that. But like
Yeah.
I mean,
It seems like she had cooler parents than we did, for sure.
Maybe like see, I feel there was still like within acting and everything. I think something that remains constant is that like grandparents are really like not pushy, but just they want you to do your best and be really, really successful. So even if I was acting, like they still have that same, and it's good, not like strict or anything, but it's the same drive is there.
Did they compare you to the other kids that were acting? They're like, you're not doing as good as Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, about that. It's like,
she's like years after Macaulay Culkin.
I
Well, I guess
know.
he's sort of like the poster
An
kid for like
older reference.
Yeah.
right?
But who was your North Star growing up? Like you must have had like people that you looked up to, you know, other like child actors. Was it Selena Gomez? Like who was
Drew Barrymore. What?
I think like Disney Channel people. Like I was
yeah, so Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato,
Montana.
Demi
especially 'cause
Lovato.
they're from Texas and they were Latina, like, you know, it's somewhat close to me, I guess.
We're averaging out. We're like, Latino's close enough, right?
The other brown meat. Okay.
What's the last thing you guys bought on Amazon? Are we supposed to be using huh?
I think we should.
Well, I don't think we're supposed to, but I think especially like on Friday we weren't supposed to because they were striking.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
I
I
think if
didn't.
you have to, be careful of when they're striking.
Yeah, no, I did an impulse purchase today. So I hope they weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought a couple like bondage ropes and a body harness without a crotch and like some blindfolds. I'm
so
ready
you're
for
about to get freaky, huh?
I don't
Just
know.
wanted to bring that up. That's exactly what you're like. What Amazon purchases did you?
Well, I was hoping you guys would help me out and say like I got a fucking printer or something, or
Well,
I got like a whole.
I mean,
Okay. Well, let's come back to this freaky shit. But hold on, let's go. Karmen, what did you get?
the last purchase is a set of composition books.
Aw.
Okay, that's productive.
What color?
Is this like it's like the plain school type one?
Classic.
You know? I just like,
Classic. Got it.
Classic. Yeah.
I got over the weekend, I think Sunday. When did yeah, yesterday I put in an order for a bat because
Like a baseball bat.
A baseball bat. Yes,
she wasn't trying to find out how this all started.
Not
That's
animal bats, not Wuhan bats. No, this is a baseball bat because I'm moving to a place in the suburbs where we have the house now, so now we need a bat security, even though we have like other security measures. We don't have cameras outside all over the house, so like whatever rooms are more vulnerable, we're gonna put.
That's hilarious.
So are you gonna like practice swinging?
Are you kidding? I've been swinging bats my entire life. Okay, I'm ready to swing at some intruder.
She's ready for a zombie apocalypse.
What's that movie Signs? The guy tells like
swing away.
Swing away.
I was thinking that too.
Sorry, you can put like fake cameras around your house. It doesn't have to be like it's cheaper, like the fake ones.
Yeah,
It's
so
cheaper.
we got the Ring, and okay, one thing about the Ring is that the cameras will make you crazy because now whenever there's like any sort of movement around the house, whether it's a bunny or just a neighbor walking like past our house, like our Ring will go off and we're like, what's happening, you know? But yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna do. Maybe, I don't know, though I don't want to tell the public this because I don't want people to know that my house is vulnerable. And
Can I ask, this might be too personal, but I guess don't answer it if you don't want to. Did you guys like go in on the house together?
Yes and no. I mean, we're like dividing up things that we're investing in. So yeah.
Okay.
Like just
Basically,
as
she's married.
no, I'm not married. And so I'm trying to make that very clear. And this is for every, like anyone, any woman who's in this position. Do not financially commit to anything with a man unless you have commitment, unless you have like actual.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Do not financially commit to don't put your name on anything, you know, and if and when you do put your name on something, make sure that like you are legally bound together. That's all I'm saying, because that's the best way to protect yourself against anything that goes financially wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
And my Amazon purchase was a thermometer just to check to make sure if any of us got a fever, you know, just to home care.
Is it one of those cool thermometers where you like sort of like external, you can sort of shoot at the head?
No, it's like a broke-ass baby thermometer.
Oh,
I just
under the
wanted
tongue?
something. Yeah, it's got a baby on the cover. I just wanted something extra sensitive that we could use if anything
So you guys
happens.
should all put that shit under your tongue, like in your mouth?
I think
This is
so
just trying
I
to get to her freaky shit where she's putting things in different orifices.
No,
I'm not.
I'm
No. We'll get
curious.
back to Fizza later. Don't worry
We're
about that.
getting
We're
to-
getting back to Fizza.
We can get back to the freaky. I think Zara wants to hear about the freaky shit.
Wait, we haven't heard
She's hitting
Sahana.
the 3-year itch. 2-year.
I haven't purchased anything lately, but like I think the last purchase I made was a weighted blanket, but then I ended up
Oh
returning.
my god!
this
Really?
to-
Oh,
That's too heavy.
you are a more petite lady.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, it helped because it's like, just fucking go to bed, you know? It's just like on you, and it's like, duh, but it's like too much, you know? Like it's not like a,
So you couldn't even commit to a weighted blanket, is what you're saying.
yeah, it's like on me, and I'm like, this is intense, and
You're like, I need some space.
yeah.
I just got a weighted blanket last week. Actually, it's the best thing ever.
I want one
I'm
so
not
bad.
sure, huh?
I want one so bad. Tell me.
So I'm not sure, like in you know, because we're all different types of brown, but in our culture back home, it's something called a gudri. Maybe it's like a derivative of an Indian term, but it's a gudri. My grandmother used to get them like from India, and they like super heavy blankets. So the
Oh.
weighted blanket actually reminds me of that.
Gudri is apparently a place in India, and also the blanket. I guess that might be from there.
Yeah, so it was like a thing, like in South Africa, South African Indians would have gudris, which is a weighted blanket.
Oh my
Basically a
God.
bunch of saris just like sewn together. That's what it looked like.
I went to an ex's house and he had a new kitten and a weighted blanket, and I just ignored him the whole time. I was there for like 2 hours and I had a great time. Like, I like the weighted blanket, but I understand, like, you know, I'm 5'7", got a little meat on these bones, so a little weight will do me some good. Maybe I'll get one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, back to your fuck cage
Yeah.
or whatever.
Let's hear about this swing and whatever else you got going.
It wasn't a
Who are
swing.
you? Are you taking time to set it up, like to practice before you can stop
Wait.
socially distancing?
Wait, are you stretching? Are you stretching? That's
All right.
you gotta
I am doing
stretch.
yoga. I am doing yoga regularly. I'm continuing with that through Skype or actually FaceTime, but neither of them are sponsoring us, so I don't even know why I'm clarifying. But I don't have a sex swing. I don't know how you guys got a sex swing out of rope.
Sorry, I just
Bondage
assumed
for-
that were you. That's where
I
you.
would love a sex swing, but where the fuck
mean,
am I gonna put it?
what
Like, I'm
else
not
do you-
like
You have
Hold
a good apartment for a sex swing.
harness. What is the harness
fit an
for?
area to the sex swing.
Hold on, I have a question.
I've
what
like
do you?
a gang of roommates.
What's the harness for if it's not for a swing? What else do you need a harness for?
Oh, it's just like this sort of design of like exotic wear where like you can harness it somewhere, but it's just like it's God, wish I could show you a
I
picture,
get
but
it.
it's just
So
like bondage wear.
You wear the harness, but you don't have anything to attach it to yet. You can
Yeah,
attach
it's
it.
harness style.
You're trying
So-
to find the swing to your harness, is what you're saying.
Yeah, or someone can put a leash on you because there's probably a collar attachment, or you could just wear it alone because it's hot.
It's like a weighted blanket, but it's your version.
Yeah, but for your tits and your ass, that's
It took me some time to find it because like I was like, I don't, all that shit that like goes into your butt and touches your cooch, I don't want that shit like on my privates. I wanted something that's a little too invasive. Like, keep that open. Just so I found one that was crotchless and we're all happy. And the ropes. You know that? Oh, dude, Pallavi, and I don't know if you watched it yet either, Zara. Did you watch that show?
Too hot
Too
to
Hot
handle?
to Handle? Yeah.
Yes, it's the best show. It's the best show.
It's so good. It's so brilliant. And it actually made me want to.
What is this? Wait, Sahana
okay.
has something to say. Sahana's eyebrows went like perked up. Like, I want to know.
I don't even watch shit like that, you know? Like, and I just like, my
Yes.
boyfriend was like, "What's this?" And we just like clicked on one episode, and we're like,
It's
7
amazing.
episodes in, and we're just like, they're so easy to make fun of, you know? But it's also like, I started to like them, and I don't know.
I did too, because you're seeing them actually grow. A lot of them took the process seriously, and like I actually was really moved by how they were forming deeper connections. Because when you don't have the sex haze, you can really sort of get to know someone, and that actually inspired me to get to know some of my little, whatever. So after this is done, someone can tie me up, which was inspired by Too Hot to Handle, because I was like, oh yeah, I wanted to do shibari rope tying, so I got a couple of those ropes. So.
Well, for Zara, who hasn't seen it, there are all these hot people on an island, and they lose money that they could win at the end if they kiss or fuck or anything. So the idea is to grow deeper connections, but they're all like ridiculous people. But then you do start liking them towards the end of it.
They're all like hot and promiscuous, like they've been interviewed and personally selected. So they're people like who would have sex very quickly. They're all, and they're not allowed to. They're not even allowed to kiss. They'll lose $3,000 each time for each kiss.
This actually sounds fun. Nothing is more fun to me than seeing hot people being repressed. Like, this is.
It's such a good show. It's genuinely a good show.
I watched the trailer. It looked interesting. It's kind of like the Pod show. What was the Pod show?
Love is Blind. I watched that, and then I watched Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah.
What's up, Sahana? Sorry.
I couldn't really get through. Love is Blind wasn't for me, but I could get through Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah, Too Hot to Handle is a better show, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put that one on the queue before. I didn't watch Love is Blind either. I was like, I can't regress.
Yeah, I luckily, I don't know, but I watched Love is Blind first and then that one, and it worked out well. Okay, yeah. So you took some lessons from this reality show. Are there any other reality shows?
I'd say I was inspired. I was inspired because I was like, oh, it's sort of like a matter of trust also. And like I had plans to get some like bondage rope anyway, but like that sort of like pushed me. I was like, okay,
So you said you learned from this show and then it made you like engage in deeper conversations with people you'd been sexually active with before?
Yeah, people I was sort of like, I wanted to, since there's no way to really physically connect, I wanted to sort of take this opportunity to like connect in a different way and just see what that would be like. And it's been like, you know, I mean, it depends on sort of my state of mind and if I'm intoxicated or not, but like it's a little uncomfortable, but it's actually like for the most part been cool. Like
That's awesome.
I want someone to tie me up.
It's so cute. Like, I really want someone to tie me up. It's like very innocent.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure I'll tell you guys about it. I'm sure I'll say, what did you guys do last Sunday?
And
it's
tell
only
us
because,
about it.
Yeah, it's only because I wanted to tell you that I was hung on I was going to say on a tree, but that's actually really dark and scary.
So hold on, Fizza, are you thinking of breaking quarantine so you can try out these ropes and harnesses and stuff?
No, I mean, I'm high risk. I have asthma and I'm also like a smoker, not a cigarette smoker, but so I don't really want to put
crack
myself at
smoker.
risk.
Got
and
it.
obviously put anyone else.
A little bit of crack.
Clarifying. Thanks for clarifying. No, I don't want to break quarantine. I just, you know, I just want to be ready for when this is done. You know, I just want to be ready.
Everybody's learning new skills. Some people are learning how to knit. This is Fizza's knitting.
Yeah, shibari.
Yeah.
It was cool though, because it was sort of like an exercise of trust. Like if whoever's being tied up has to like, you know, you're giving up a lot of power to the person who's tying you up. So it is an interesting dynamic shift. Would you guys try it?
It just sounds pretty basement-y, you know, like tied up in a basement, Stockholm syndrome. My head is just going in that direction. I'm not sure if I'm up for being tied up.
I think I've seen a lot of like Tinder people and like even friends I know that have this attitude. It's like dudes who are like, I'm a dom and I just want someone submissive. And it's like, it has nothing to do with what actual sub-dom culture is from what I can tell. It's like all ego and they just want to like tell someone what to do with, and it's not like, you know, it's not like necessarily like fully consensual. It's just like to feed their ego outside of it. So I've seen some like negative uses, but I don't know. Seems for the people who enjoy it, it's fun.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's a thing to try, you know.
Well, yeah. Would you try it though, or it's not really like interesting?
Yeah, but I think I'd get too much anxiety being tied up like that. Like,
no, I was asking Pallavi too because I know you were like, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, I would try anything with someone that I trusted enough. Like it just depends. Like, but I haven't found that person. So.
Yeah. But like just the experience. Zara, you're in a long-term relationship. There's a lot of trust and security there. Would you tie him up? It seems like you'd be the one tying him up.
Sure. Yeah, I think eventually things get boring and you do want to introduce like different things, but I don't know if we're there yet. Also, like when you know, like nothing is more of a cock block than like serious financial commitments, you know, like none of it is hot right now. Like none of it. It's like Karmen knows what I'm talking about. It's like,
you know what? I can't think about moving it, like buying a house. Like we lived together, but like just getting him on my cell phone plan gave me so much anxiety.
Oh my God. Like, it's like
you're on my cell phone plan.
Like sometimes I'll get turned on when we're talking about like different shades of white and paint swatches we want to pick and stuff. Like this is our foreplay, and then we start talking about like renovation timelines, and then I'm completely like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
wait, Sahana has a boyfriend too, right? You mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you guys been together?
About 2 years.
And is he in LA?
No, he's in Austin.
Do your parents know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Her parents
again, she
chill,
is an
Karmen.
adult. She's an adult woman.
They chill. Yeah. So
no, like to tell my parents that I was moving in with my boyfriend, like I'm like, 34 years old, and I was like, I have to tell you guys something. I'm living with my friend, my special friend. And they were like, okay. And I was like, no, like, he's my boyfriend. And they were like, well, it's about time, you're 34. And I was like, okay. I didn't expect this.
My mom is freaking out. My mom is totally freaking out. She wants us to get married. She's like, all right, we'll just do a nikah. And I'm like, that what? You're like, it's just there. She's just like, just get Islamically married. I'm like, yeah, but he's not Muslim. So like, how is that gonna work? And she's like, yeah, just do it. And I'm like, but why does it, so like, we're just constantly in this battle back and forth. And it's just like, it's crazy. So we'll find out what happens. Maybe we'll convert to like all three religions and everyone will live happily ever after. I don't know what's gonna happen.
He's like Jewish, right?
He's Jewish and Hindu. He's a Hindu. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sahana, what is your boyfriend's background?
White.
And
Ooh.
so parents totally chill, been together 2 years. How is long distance working?
I just moved in August, so we haven't been trying it for that long, but until now, he's been like visiting every month or so. And then I came down for like Christmas and Thanksgiving just cause, whatever. And well,
You're
cause like,
so fucking laid back, Sahana. You're so chill.
No, cause I don't really, I didn't come down cause I'm like, oh, it's Christmas, it's Thanksgiving. But like, it's like, that's the time when people have off. So, but they celebrate Thanksgiving. So I went over and.
Your parents were like totally chill. They're like, yeah, my daughter's with a white guy and we didn't choose him or whatever.
Yeah,
I doubt they said that. They're like, my daughter's with a white guy and it's fine.
No, pronouncing it. No, but he works for Infosys, so I think that helps.
Oh, so that helps. Yeah, every Indian family loves Infosys. Like,
so he's like, he's like culturally Indian, is what you're saying.
Totally.
He like updates me on like Indian politics and stuff, and he's like, I heard at work, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like he eats with his hands. Like he came home and he ate with his hands, and your family was like okay with it.
Yeah, like he when he came to visit, like we had like South Indian food, and he like ate it with his hands and everything, and it wasn't out of an act of like sucking up, like it was just genuine. Like
sounds like a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been long distance for?
Since like when I moved out,
August.
We did long distance when I was in New York for some time, but that was like 3 months.
So like 6 months so far. That's cool.
How'd you meet him?
He used to do stand-up. He kind of still does it now, but he's more focusing on like filmmaking and stuff. But we both went to school together. He already graduated, but we like met at a party.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, so he's older. Sahana's dating an older guy.
Yeah, that's why I don't identify as Gen Z.
I don't know if you guys know that I got engaged. Did I ever tell you guys?
What? Congratulations.
On Instagram.
Mazel tov.
Okay, hold on. Okay, now we need a proposal story. Let's hear it.
So I have IBD. Okay. Which is actually an autoimmune
Stories that start with like an IBD or some other.
Yeah. So I took
inflammatory bowel disease. Is
Yeah.
what that is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
So I got diagnosed last year, but I ended up taking him home to South Africa to meet my family, which was quite an interesting trip. I have a very sensitive joke that I would love to share, but not on this podcast because I feel like but there's like racial slurs thrown in there. But I took him, and on the day, that weekend, 2 days before we were leaving, I got sick. And so he was like planning this whole like proposal. He asked my family for my hand in marriage, and he went and bought a ring from South Africa because he wanted me to have a piece of Africa. I guess all diamonds come from Africa. So he like went through this whole like thing, and I was like so sick and high on medication. And there was the day we were flying out, and he was like, fuck it, I have to do this now. Like I have to ask her because I want to ask her in front of her family. And he was like, will you marry me? And I was like, I guess. Like, 'cause I was so
He like weakened you first.
yeah, I was like, And then my family's like, yes, it's about time. And I was like, yeah, okay.
I was talking to my parents yesterday, and they brought up dating again, and it's like I think they think that I'm just not seeing anybody, but it's like I can't just bring up like.
Just show them your harness.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Show
thinking.
them the ropes. Put it on
That's
and
some
send them a
great
picture.
advice.
Show them the ropes is really funny.
Yeah.
They think I'm a virgin.
It's like
Is it
trying
more
it
of
on
a
your
don't
husband.
ask, don't tell kind of
this
thing,
is a-
though?
Yeah.
This is a really painful way to find out your parents aren't listening to our podcast.
Oh my God. So my mom actually told me, like, she's like, oh, I hope you post whatever on, like, I told her I'm recording with y'all. And she's like, I hope you post it on Facebook because I saw your cat video and it was really funny. And like the cat video was like, we're talking about cats getting wet, like cat vaginally getting wet. And like
Yeah.
also like male cat dicks having like spikes. Like, I'm like, you listen to that? Like, Jesus Christ.
But she's funny. You said your mom's funny, right?
Oh yeah, my mom's totally funny. I guess it's just like, yeah, I think around my dad she might act a little more proper, but
So she wants to see those clips.
yeah, no, I think a lot of women like I mean just being marginalized after a while gets a little exhausting, right? So I think women want to fucking be human.
Yeah.
Our women, our parents' generation, like ugh, God, women have been so shit on.
Yes. You know what? I'll agree with that statement. I don't care what the rest of you say. I'll agree with that statement.
I just get angry about it randomly.
Yeah, I mean, women always get shit on. I started a new job and now I manage a team of white men.
That's sub-dom culture.
Right? That's like
is it?
everyone's dream. They're like, damn, 2 white men. But the one guy who applied for my position and didn't get it is like trying to take me down every day.
That
Just
sucks.
sabotage.
What kind of sabotage?
No, it's like he just won't do his work, you know, and
Oh God.
he reports to me, so I have to be like, ew. It's like a kid, you know. Men do childish things sometimes.
Can you fire him?
That's the thing. This company. So I work for a university. I won't name the university.
Yeah.
And there's a whole procedure about firing people. Like you can't just fire them. It's like a 4-month procedure.
Have you confronted him about it? Like, is
Oh,
it,
he's well aware of it.
so what's his problem? Like, why can't he just like keep the peace and you guys just do?
Because he didn't get the job and he's bitter about it.
I think you didn't hear it. He's a white man, so that's probably
Yeah, he's a white man.
I don't have with for some.
What was that face?
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I have an easier time dealing with white men than I do dealing with white women.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm usually just more upfront with white men at work, and like we're usually able to work it out. It's always the white women whom I'm always constantly in like political battles with, or like all these like schemes and these like, you know, like different ways.
Do you think it's
yeah.
Do you think it's because like white men don't view you as a threat and white women do? Do you think white men are just like, nothing is going to shake my confidence or my position?
I think it's it could be that, but I think it's also like white men are more willing to compete with you than white women. Like that's and that's just been my experience. Like once like I don't know, like I've had this happen in my other career many times where like I'm head to head with a white man and we're like kind of trying to destroy each other, and then we'll just go out for dinner or go out for drinks and then we'll be fine and we'll actually like help each other like in different ways. But I've never been able to do that with a white woman ever. Like there's never like an agreement where it's just like, let's just agree to disagree and like put our heads down and work and move forward. Like I've been in situations where like, you know, I've had this problem with a white man and we both like work our asses off and then we both got promoted. Whereas with a white woman, it's like, no, we're not going to work in this. We're not going to work together on this. And it's been unfortunate, but like, that's been just my experience. I don't know.
Well, I don't work in that environment, but like, I feel like throughout my life, and I'm generalizing, but white women have been less inclusive just as a group to me. And I, of course, have white women as close friends, but just in general, from my experience, and I am coming also from the South, but that's been my experience.
Hannah, has your white man competed with you? Do you try to win during things?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think like with there might be some jealousy there, with like, because we are like, if you throw out like sexuality, orientation, whatever out the window, it's like, oh, look at this beautiful tan, woman who's now like within the past maybe not even few years, but like very recently become more like a symbol of hotness and whatever. It's changing, and there could be some jealousy there.
I mean, I think mostly with women in general, that's what you're going to find in certain industries. Unfortunately, I think my experience of most of the time have worked in corporate with white women,
Yeah, I think in the cases where I've worked with white men, I feel like they just didn't take me seriously, so they didn't feel like a need to like fight me. So like they just like would just not listen to me, And I think with white women, maybe they do view us more as like, because we're women, it's competitive, jealousy, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think similar to like, why FRC was created, we were kind of trying to fight the notion that there can only be one. And oftentimes in the corporate world, depending on what industry you're in, you might be like, as a woman, you might be a minority. Like if you're in tech or in engineering or in science, like there aren't a lot of women in the room, right? So it might just become competitive against the woman. And it's like, all right, which one of us is going to get the promotion? Because no, the two women, they're not going to give the promotion to two women if there's only like 2 spots open.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of that too. And I've dealt with a lot of that. Whereas, if it's like just me and a white guy, like the other thing that I've noticed about white guys is like, and this is just my experience, like if there's just a little bit of a hint that they could possibly get laid.
Yeah.
And that this is just straight white men. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I think that's like a huge part of it.
I think that's a part of it, like where they feel, like if they sense a little bit of attraction, they'll just be nicer to you or whatever.
I think that goes for all men in general. Like, if you look at like just be doing stand-up as well, most men, they try those bookers, the guys that book the shows and stuff, the men, they feel that, I have this great show, I could book this girl. Maybe if I book her, she might just, give me a little something,
Have you guys noticed the same competitiveness amongst men in any capacity? Because in my head, what I've seen and grown up with is like, mostly I see like a boys club thing where they do like help each other out a lot and they like hang out a lot. I'm sure there must be some sort of competition in their head too, at least for women or the stereotypical stuff. Do you guys ever see that with dudes hanging out with each other? Like any of the similar competition stuff?
Yeah, I think that's natural, but I don't know how deep it goes. I mean, again, it's like it would be a generalization, but I just don't. I think maybe the competition's more friendly and not as. But I don't know. It just depends how much of a person's worth is tied to the competition. Like how much is at stake.
I like that. That's true.
Which is sort of like how I feel like I was raised, and maybe a lot of us were raised, is like my worth is attached to what I do, not necessarily who I am. So I'm trying to rewire that shit.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times it's, it's when it comes to the Caucasians, you know, whether female or male, it's more along the lines of privilege. They feel entitled to.
Karmen's a David Attenborough for white people in the world, in their natural habitats.
I love how our accent just says Caucasian, like it's a different
Caucasians, whether male or female.
It's a different emphasis.
Yeah. I mean, in the natural habitat, you know, they just feel entitled, you know, constantly, you know, I deserve this, not because of my hard work or my ethics or basically hard work. I deserve it because I'm white. Give me that job.
I think they also, like, right now, look at what's happening with like the corona stuff. If you look at the images, like most of those people who are protesting are white, and there's like a large like crossover with like Trump supporters and white supremacy and stuff like that. I'm not
the anti-vaxxers as well.
Yeah. I don't actually know about, I haven't heard, the anti-vaxxers have been really quiet since there's been a pandemic going on. I don't know if you guys noticed.
But I think I just read an article, or I did read an article today where anti-vaxxers are sort of hopping on to this protest. So they're piggybacking onto it.
Wow.
So it's a platform.
Oh, we love to see it.
What is crazy to me is, you know, like with all the craziness that we've been seeing with all these protesters is that all the white supremacists, white people can come out with their guns to these protests, but if any person of color did that, like everybody would be arrested, you know? So it's just, there's also just like a bias in how, like, you know, people don't understand that white privilege does exist, like in that fact. Also, there's a white man wearing a freaking white supremacist hood out in the grocery store. Like everybody's seen that picture go around. Like,
that's the only mask he had lying around. He's like, gotta get the old KKK robe out, I guess, just for your protection. Protection. Do you guys think I think one of us should just like get a gun and then go undercover as one of the protesters and then see if that shuts down the movement.
Seriously.
I've been
guarantee if we all went out in like full on hijab and the niqab.
Yeah.
30 of us went to Ralph's.
We're like, we want to work.
30 of us went to the grocery store like that. Guaranteed, like the FBI would be there, the police would be there, the Karens would be running out crying like, parents.
I was just thinking recently, I think a huge part of the problem with this like caucasity or white entitlement or people not realizing the white privilege thing is just like, and I grew up in Utah, so it was very white, but I did not learn the proper history of this country. I did not learn about the Tulsa bombing. I did not learn about, was it Fred Hampton? I did not learn about like, you know, like how the FBI, what the Black Panthers actually did, what they did for the disabled community and helping them protest and get rights. Like the Black Panthers are painted out to be like just these evil people, like violent people. I did not learn the proper history of this country. And I think that's like a huge reason for why people are like, oh, this is good and this is bad. Yes. Like how they've written it in textbooks is even fucked.
It is so funny that I'm digressing back to Zara. She spoke about the hijabs, and I kind of foresee that life after Corona will make people start wearing hijabs just to protect themselves from the coronavirus, because, you know, it can cling on your
Dude, I heard some men were
white women being wearing hijabs just because they can protect themselves from the coronavirus.
I mean, they're already like rebranding like black and brown things, right? Like they went on Shark Tank with bonnets, like, which is a black invention that they rebranded.
That's insane.
Yeah, you know, like the white women who are claiming turmeric lattes. I mean, come on now. Come on. We've been doing turmeric lattes since the beginning of time.
Can we just claim turmeric? So anything turmeric is just like from the South Asian subcontinent?
Please. Can we start charging everybody else who's not brown $30 for turmeric while we still spend $2 on it?
Okay, hold on. I feel like the four of us have been bitching. Sahana, do you accept this bitching? Are you bitching with us, or are you just more chill about it?
About
like the whole white privilege, caucasity, etc.
I am always like on it. Like I'm scared to like say anything sometimes. You know what I mean? I'm a bad improviser. What if I say something that I'm like, wow, why did I say that? But I didn't mean it that way. You know what I mean? But I totally can understand where all those, like, I am probably on, I'm on your side.
She's still up for Disney stuff, so like she
Oh, I
doesn't
got
want to.
it.
That is
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay.
But I can't just be like,
Her boo is white. Her
Wait,
boo
wait, wait.
is a
Wait.
whole Asian.
Wait. No, but sorry, what were you just saying? You can't.
oh, like, I just hate that I'm so on edge about like saying something accidentally controversial when it's probably like the accurate and right thing to say. It's just I'm in the minority, so I feel like I'm going to be misconstrued,
Yeah.
which isn't right. Like, I just need to say how I feel. I just
Well,
I don't know.
Did you grow up? What kind of community did you grow up in?
What kind of community did I grow up in?
Like
Yeah, like mostly. I mean, my school wasn't super diverse. I don't think. Maybe a little bit, but like my city wasn't as diverse. Like, do you know Plano? Like Plano in Dallas. It's a
Plano,
big.
Texas. It's
Yeah.
is it a suburb of Dallas?
Yeah. So I'm from Allen. I feel like Plano's a bit more diverse than Allen. And I almost was like, at one point, I was like, I really want to move there because I want to be popular. And I feel like if I moved to Plano, I'd be like popular Indian girl or whatever. But yeah, that was pretty much.
So it was mostly white and.
But yeah, but I was in like a community of like I did a lot of theater stuff and acting, and at the time at least. And I'm so happy that now a lot of more Indian people are doing it. It's weird. Like I'm happy that a lot of Indian people are pursuing acting now, but I'm like, no, I can be the only one. I have to like,
Yeah,
know?
you're like fighting that thing that society has put on us, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I was surrounded by more white people just because I took on like filmmaking and acting as a kid. But now it's like you guys are all brown and we're all like actors and comedians, which is awesome.
I have a question for you guys. Did you guys hear Lily Singh's song where she kind of appropriated Caribbean culture and
No.
Yeah.
Which song? Which song?
Bad Gal?
Bad Gal.
I'm doing a bad impression. Please don't sue me.
Oh no.
So she came out with a song with a soca Caribbean vibe, and she like kind of did the whole Caribbean accent to the song.
Oh no.
Like Shaggy?
But in a girl voice.
Yeah.
So it's like, bad girl, come get it on, blah, 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 blah.
The first thing that came up was Lily Singh tries to be Jamaican and Twitter hates it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised you guys didn't know about it. I mean,
No, I didn't know. It's recent. It's like within the last week.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry. The only thing that's popping up on my social media is the Property Brothers and anything HGTV related. So I have no idea what else is going on in the world besides COVID and HGTV. That's the only thing that's on my mind.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's weird because there are like Indians in like on these islands, but she's not of that background.
She's faking an accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even honestly, like we've done accents in our acts of like, but whatever, we're like one step removed, but her background is not even of that, right? She's Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we wouldn't now, Hollywood doesn't want us. Now we're not supposed to play other ethnicities. So
yeah,
I think maybe
well, it's just kind of like doing like a black accent or you know what I mean? It's like weird, right?
Well, there's no such, I wouldn't say a black accent. I said that I think things are regional.
No, I'm saying it's analogous to that, to like hearing someone do like an accent fully out of your like a caricature of a.
Well, she kind of just came up with a song with that accent, which is also a bit weird, I heard that song and I was like, yeah, I think that's not cool. It's
Can I just say,
it's not a sketch.
For anyone listening, Lily Singh, if you need, more creative writing staff to come up with ideas for you that are non-controversial, like I'm happy to provide ideas. Like, I'm looking for a writing job, so like. I don't have too many people mad at me for things I've said, so I'm happy to provide ideas, more comedic ideas.
Yeah, just hire the Zoom room.
Because she's mad at me for something, but I promise you I can provide a lot of non-confrontational ideas, honestly.
Just hire the Zoom room. Fuck it. if she's listening. I mean, I don't know. I just, just in case.
I don't know. I think like if you're on TV and if you have a writing staff, like don't you have to like pass things through legal and all these other things to make sure they're okay? Like she's a late night host. She's on a major
Yeah,
network.
but that's
Yeah,
like
but those networks are all white people still, right? So how do they know?
they're still like, sort of blind to that. They're a little bit behind, especially I think network television. The standards are a little rigid still. So they're, networks the least progressive of all the platforms.
Well, I don't know.
That's why you can see boobs on like pay TV.
But
like
there's people
HBO.
who are getting canceled for a lot less, So I don't know. I just feel like people really need to. I don't know.
I wouldn't condemn her. I don't think she's like an awful person. I think, a lot of celebrities are just, not tapped in. It's sort of like the same thing of like the celebs who sang that song, and we're expecting everyone. Yeah. And we're expecting everyone to just be excited about that shit.
Did she they did a collab at the beginning of like the Corona pandemic stuff, of Imagine by Lennon.
Oh yes.
Did she have to apologize, or did she?
I think she like posted on Instagram. I could be wrong, but I think she kind of acknowledged it and said, it was from a place of celebrating the culture, not a place from appropriation. And she's like sorry about it, something along those lines.
Interesting.
But I just thought it would be interesting as somebody
she didn't take it down.
Yeah, she didn't take it down. I just thought it was interesting because I'm part of this, or I follow this group called Brown Girl Diaries, which is like Caribbean, the Indo-Caribbean, experience. And it's a lot about, the experience of being displaced Indians, much like my heritage, displaced in South Africa, not really having a connection to the motherland and developing your own culture. And they were discussing it, if you go through there. So I just thought it was an interesting take. And I wanted to know other brown women's perspective on this, like how do you guys feel on this subject? But I think
it seems like it was tone deaf, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. With Lily, like since she started her late night show, there have been some like problematic things. So this is not the first one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, like there have been like literally like tweets and things that have gone viral on the internet from like other stand-up comedians that have like ended up in her sketches, things like that. So it's just like I really think that people who are on TV on these major networks really need to be better in their writing rooms and their creative processes to like make sure they're putting out more authentic content, and things that are not like tone deaf and problematic.
Yeah.
Well, that stuff has happened before too on like other late night shows where like writers have been like at stand-up shows or like on Twitter or whatever and have just taken from other people.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I mean, did she have any brown girls writing for her?
Oh yeah, she had a lot of brown girls, right? I know she at least had one. I thought she had like a room full of brown girls.
Her writing team is pretty small from what I've heard, right?
For what?
The team, like her writing team was pretty small, right? The room.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what
I know one comic or actor, or I guess she's a writer. Now I think this was her first writing job, but she's of Persian descent, so she's a brown woman. She's on the staff, but I don't know, like, what's a small writing group? Like two, three people?
Yeah.
I heard 4, but I don't know.
4, yeah. Yeah, that's small. That is small. Do you watch it? Do you guys watch Lily sing?
I haven't watched it.
I watched a bit at the beginning, but it's been a while.
I watch it when my friends are on. So Suba did a late night set and it was
Yeah.
I love
I watched Suba sit. I didn't watch the show.
Oh.
Sahana, are you getting called for dinner? Are we from your parents?
I have an aunt whose birthday is today, and we're just wishing her happy birthday via Zoom.
Oh, go say happy birthday.
I thought her parents overheard about the harness and was like, "Hey, bring that officer. Let's check it out."
I don't have it yet. It gets your make call.
The full writing staff is 6 people. It looks like 1, 2, 3 of them are men and 3 are women. One is our friend Mona Mira, who's been on our show. Has she been on our show?
Not yet, but
Oh, but we're gonna have her on our show.
yeah.
And then we have Marina Kockenberg and Jen Burton. I'm not sure what Marina's background is, or Jen's, because her profile picture is a cat.
She's a cat.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
Pallavi, you should be
diverse.
like on Catfish or something. Like you'd just be quick on that search. You're like,
oh no, like I've been stalking people for years. Like whenever my friends date someone new, we do full background searches on them.
I mean, don't we all do that? I like that's the first thing I do if I hear a friend dating. I'm like, what's his name? Let me find out.
Yeah.
I found out my one friend was dating this girl and she was acting a bit strange. And then I like researched her on Google and I found out that she was like under witness protection and her name wasn't really her name. And then I was like,
Dang. But
I don't know how to tell you this, but this looks like your girl.
dang. That makes me question witness protection. How good can they be?
I mean,
it
was in South Africa. I guess like they weren't really, trying.
Yeah.
They weren't trying.
Yeah, they were like, you win some, you lose some.
Yep. All right. Well.
All right, guys. I'm
I had to change rooms.
I've been working this whole time because life.
I was like using natural sunlight when we started and then the sun set and I was like, I have to figure something out.
Well, I mean, we're almost done, right? It's been over an hour.
Yeah, I think
it's been
so.
over an hour. Should we all bail before Sahana comes back?
That's why I was hoping she'd come back, but.
And then we put up a sign that says millennials only and then we that was so mean.
Oh my God. Well, there she is. Yeah.
There she is.
Lana, you're back.
Yay. So if anyone is in LA, I need to get rid of my shit and it's very hard to do during a pandemic when everyone's social distancing. So if anyone wants something, excluding the SpongeBob, that's going with me. But if anyone wants anything else, just let me know because I'm just trying to get rid of stuff. So Karmen, if you want me to mail you anything, let me know.
I'm trying to see what books you have there. I'm like,
are you mailing stuff? I might want something if you're mailing.
The Audacity of Hope. I have The Tipping Point, Malcolm Gladwell. I have this Tina Fey Bossy.
I've read that.
Are you in a book club?
Yeah.
I have
Is there like book club books?
I have Why Men Love Bitches.
She'll send you a list.
Yeah. She's like,
okay,
she's like,
okay, this does not work. It does not work in 2020. It didn't work in 2010. I think this is a 1990s like game that does not work today. So don't.
That sounds like the title of a rom-com. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, like a Kate Hudson one or something.
Yeah.
I have Martha's Rules. If anyone wants these, Martha Stewart's Rules.
For jail or baking?
For baking. That's the only thing I do.
I want the prison rules.
Is that an etiquette book?
I don't know. It's a recipes and etiquette, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, because she was a stockbroker before she became Martha Stewart. So it's just like a lot of like, her successes and failures in life and how she got through them.
So she was already a crook.
She was, the reason why they got her for insider trading is because she had a lot of contacts in the industry to begin with. So
I heard she's like a harder to work with. I met one of her interior designers.
Sorry.
She's the worst person to work for.
Well, I'm also hearing that about Ellen lately too. So I don't know who to believe. We've gone back to like, we're spilling the tea on white women today. So let's stop. I don't know. But I am a fan. I have Martha Stewart's book, I believe in their successes. All of them. So.
I'll hit you up to
Did you
see.
say happy birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say happy birthday to your aunt?
Yeah, so I used to be pretty fluent in Tamil when I was younger, and I still can. Like, it takes a little bit of time, but now it's like broken and like just like, okay, but and I just look like an awkward, like maybe rude person, but it's just because I just don't know the language very well. I do, but it's like
You understand it more than you
I
speak
understand
it.
it really well.
Yeah.
I know how to read it too, but
Oh.
yeah, it's just because sometimes it used to be just like like if they were like, oh, so what did you eat for breakfast? I'd be like, waffle, and they're like, what's waffle? And then I had to explain what waffles are, and it's like just like goes down this, I don't know, like some things are just I just don't know how to.
And then you have to remember like the word for batter and like
Yeah.
iron and like all of that stuff. Yeah.
And
You
it's
guys
like,
all
is
speak
there a
different
translation
languages?
for what?
Sorry. Freaking hate it. I don't even know.
I don't speak second languages.
I don't know. I speak Spanish better than I speak Tamil or Hindi. Like I can't read Tamil or anything. Like I'll get into it and I'll drop off. But my parents never taught me any other language.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Urdu and Hindi. I used to be fluent. I'm not anymore. I understand it more than I speak. But
Wow.
I'm hoping like if I go back to India or if I'm in an environment where it's like, you know, I can sort of take it in, soak it in, live it, then I could maybe become fluent. I'd love to be bilingual. I wish I took that shit seriously when I was younger and had
I'm
more
so
potential
worried.
for learning that shit.
Yeah, like I'm worried that my children in the future, they're just gonna have their own dialect of Tamil, maybe. Like it's gonna be because there are some words that we combine, like Tanglish. Like we just like to say take a shower is like go it's like kuli something, but then like we say kulichify, like we had ify, like two
Yeah.
words. I don't know if we do that. Like
Well,
I feel like all.
it's yeah. We do the if I thing too a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an example, but something if I like whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
so they have like the Americanized slang kind of, and then it's also like different based on like I guess like my cousins that live in India, like it'll spread like the slang will spread from like elsewhere, you know, like my cousins in Dubai or like it just changes. But then also like my family, I'm mixed. I'm half Tamil, half Sindhi. So like people in my family will speak in like 4 different languages in one sentence. Like and I'm just like, what? Like it took me forever to even figure out what words were Tamil and what were Hindi like growing up. I was like constantly like mixing it up, and it took a while for my ear to like understand what. And they're like the most different languages in India, and it still took me. I was like, I don't know, but yeah, I think that's interesting because like we do that too. So I wonder if it's like changing in the same way. Like I wonder if
I think
there could be a whole generation of that just like speak that way.
It's natural for languages to evolve. Like there's so many different types of Creole, you know, so especially with I think mobility today, I mean not today because of corona, but like new languages are formed all the time by them fusing. But like I mean one time my parents spoke to me in Hindi in Urdu and I wanted to respond like in Spanish for some reason, so there were some like wires crossing there.
No, in my house, like my parents speak to us, or like my mom will speak to me in Urdu and I'll respond in English. But then like outside of my house, like my aunts, uncles, grandparents, and everyone else, we pretty much speak Urdu with like everybody else. And the cousins all speak to us like each other in English. So I don't know how it's gonna work because like I can also read and write Urdu. And so then I can like understand, and Urdu and Hindi are like, they're written differently, but they're spoken the same.
Different alphabet, same language.
Yeah.
It's a very similar language.
So I can speak and write it and read it fluently. But you know, if I'm in Pakistan, like within like 2 days, I'm like very fluent and I can do all of it. But they, you know, because we grew up speaking Urdu or our native tongue in a different country, they can already sense the American accent. Like my American accent is very thick. Like if I speak it Urdu in Pakistan, everybody knows I'm not from Pakistan.
Yeah.
And I think pretty much like with any immigrants or the first generation immigrants, like even with people who speak Spanish or that's their native language, like they can tell that you're speaking Spanglish versus Spanish, you know, like I think it's like we call it Urdish in our household because it's just a combination of American English and Urdu. But when I have kids with this guy who doesn't know like his
This
mom's
guy.
language, who doesn't, so, like, he doesn't know, he doesn't know any Gujarati. He was like raised pretty much as an American guy. So it's like, if I want to like teach our kids Gujarati or Urdu or anything like that, it would all have to be on me. Am I going to do all that work? Probably not. So the language it's probably going to get lost with the next generation. Like, hopefully.
I'm half Gujarati. I'll teach the kid something.
Sure.
Whatever, blank che.
Hey, I'll leave my kid with you. You already have a harness, so that works.
I'll just tie it up. Oh, I could just restrain the child, and then I don't have to worry about anything except psychological issues.
We should really just end the podcast.
This,
If anyone wants to have Fizza babysit their kids, she has a harness.
that is so I don't have to babysit kids. So tell everyone I have a harness so they don't leave them with me.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm happy to teach your kid a little Gujarati. I think I said all the Gujarati I know. So maybe you can teach your kid.
Do you guys want to wrap up? I think I got to go walk this dog I'm watching.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, where can we find you guys?
Let's start with Sahana.
Sahana and Karmen.
My Instagram, or we're doing social media.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like my actual address, just like giving it away.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Is my Instagram. So Sahana YoMomma.
So Sahana Yo Mama on Instagram.
Oh.
And then you also have a series on Netflix that you host.
Yes, for kids. It's a science show.
Wow.
I love that so much.
It's so random. I was never really a science person and then was like thrown in this, and I'm learning a lot. So yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Brainchild.
Yes.
Check it out.
Brainchild?
Yeah.
Karmen?
Oh, it's Karmen with a K, Karmen, Naidu, Naidoo, and that's on all platforms.
Any projects or anything?
I wish my only project is surviving coronavirus right now. I'm just trying to get through it. I'm baking a bread every second day.
Nice.
Growing my organic garden of vegetables, you know.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm Fizza Dasani, Fizaadosani, and it's at that name on all platforms, and thatname.com, fizzadasani.com.
Paula Veganalin, PallaVigunAlan. That's my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter, my TikTok, and my website.
And this is Zara Ali. I'm really Zara on all the socials. Zara is spelled Zahra. Do I have any projects? No, nothing. Just buy my shit, people. If you want to buy anything, let me know.
You got to do that only fans foot thing.
Yeah.
Dude. You're gonna make a killing. You already have people on queue.
Only feet.
If anyone
only
wants
feet.
to give me a referral to OnlyFans so I can start making money off my feet, please hit me up. Slide up in my DMs.
If you are motivated, you can definitely get a referral. I'll help you get a referral fucking tonight. Just give me a commission. Give me 10%.
10%. Oh my god. Are you my foot agent? I didn't know.
I'll be your goddamn foot agent. I swear to God. I'm looking for more side hustles.
I think they need a manager too.
Oh my god. Jesus, 20% just for my feet. Oh my god.
20. It went up to 20. I'll be your foot manager. I don't want to be your foot agent. I want that extra 10. We're Facial Recognition Comedy, facialrecognitioncomedy.com. Look out for online shows. We're cooking some up, and then obviously check out our podcast. New episode every Tuesday. Any last words in Tamil or any other language?
I mean, I speak a little bit of Afrikaans and Zulu, but that's southern.
Oh well, damn! Drop some Zulu.
Close us off with some Zulu.
Oh, you on Zulu? Like what? Like goodbye, everyone, or
Whatever you want.
I mean, I prefer. I could easily say that in Afrikaans because I was oppressed with that language. So I can say tot ziens julle or tot ziens almal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means
Okay.
goodbye,
The
everyone.
oppressors, was that the oppressors language?
Yeah.
What she said.
Well, English is sort of the oppressor's language too. So really, this whole podcast has just been us colonized.
Rest.
Right?
All right, let's hear some closing remarks in Tamil.
நன்றி எல்லாரும் பார்த்துக்கோங்க.
Aw.
Oh,
Everybody
Right.
take care. Yeah.
yay.
I really like transformed to my grandpa. I like did this. I don't know why. Everybody.
Oh, good.
All right, bye everyone.
I'll just say Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.